Windows 11 is nowhere near as bad as it used to be. It has improved quite a bit since its release. However, there's always room for improvement. And today I'm going to show you what a few tweaks, a few classic Windows apps, and some pretty heavy UI modification can do for the usability of Windows 11. Stay tuned. So yeah, this might be controversial, but Windows 11 really isn't that bad anymore. Now, obviously, there are some controversies surrounding Windows 11, and with all controversies in Windows, they will eventually subside, and we'll either learn to deal with it, disable it, or finally convince Microsoft to relent. But either way, Windows 11 is going to be with us for a while, and with the upcoming end of support for Windows 10, it's probably about time we start getting used to Windows 11. So today, I'm going to go through some of my own worst annoyances and show you how to make them not so annoying anymore. But first, I got to pay some bills, so check out today's sponsor. Is your copy of Windows 10 unactivated? Well, it doesn't have to be, because with today's sponsor, VIP SCD Key, you can get a valid Windows 10 license for under $20. Stop dealing with that stupid watermark on the desktop, the valid license for Windows 10. Also, with an activated copy of Windows 10, you can upgrade to Windows 11 for free. Just go to the link in the description below and pick up a valid Windows 10 license key. During checkout, use the code CYBERCPU for a 25% discount. Once you have your key, go to your activation settings in Windows 10 and click on the link that says Change Product Key. Enter the product key you just purchased and hit Activate. Now you don't have to deal with that stupid watermark that come with running an unactivated copy of Windows 10. Now, on with the video. So Microsoft has made a lot of changes to Windows 11, and some of these changes really aren't that bad. Personally, I'm actually getting used to the center justified start menu and even the start menu itself, believe it or not. However, some of these changes are just annoying and they hinder productivity, especially if you're coming from Windows 10 and you have certain processes that you're used to, and the new way Windows 11 decides to do these things kind of messes those processes up. Furthermore, there's also the fact that Microsoft likes to spy on everything you do with Windows. So that's what we're going to start out with. We're going to go and do kind of a quick debloat to disable some of the telemetry within Windows 11. Then we're going to get to the good stuff. So let's jump on the system and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so here we are in Windows 11, and we're going to do just a quick little debloat here. Now, this isn't by no means going to be a full-on debloated copy of Windows. This is just some of the big telemetry services and other things that are used to send data to Microsoft that we're going to be disabling. If you want a more complete video, then wait until the end of the video and I'll link to something that is a little bit more complete. However, the first thing I would start with is services. So just go ahead and click your start button and type in services and go ahead and open up the services menu here. And then from here, we want to go down to the first one is connected user experience and telemetry. So we're just going to scroll down here to right here, connected user experience and telemetry. We're going to open that up. We're going to change from automatic to disabled, push the stop button, give it a second, and then go ahead and hit OK. That should turn the main telemetry service that Microsoft uses to collect data off on your system. However, there's some more stuff we can do too. So we're going to go ahead and close this. We're going to click on Start. We're going to go into Settings, and then we're going to go into Privacy, which is right down here at the bottom. And then we're going to go into Diagnostic and Feedback. And then right here, by default, you may or may not have optional diagnostic data turned on. I do here, but you may or may not have it. And you can just flip it off right here. However, it's still sending required data to Microsoft. And we don't want it to send that either. We don't want it to send anything to Microsoft. So the way you deal with this is click on the Start menu and just start typing regedit. And go ahead and open up your registry editor here. And then from here, we're going to go to local machine, then we're going to go to software. Then from software, we're going to scroll down to policies. Then we're going to go to Microsoft, then into Windows, and then into data collection right here. And then from here, we're going to go into this white area right here, and we're going to right click, hit new, and hit DWORD 32-bit value. And then for this one, it's going to be allow telemetry. And obviously, we don't want to allow telemetry, so we're going to set this to 0, which should be the default setting for that. And then from there, we can go ahead and close regedit. If we go back to privacy and security, click on diagnostic and feedback again, as you can see, it says some of these settings are managed by your organization, and the diagnostic data is just straight off now. So it's not sending the required or the optional data. It's just all off. So from there, we can go ahead and shut settings. And then some of the other things that I like to do is go through and clean out the start menu right here. Now, a lot of these things that come with Windows 11, like Disney Plus and Clipchamp, aren't actually installed on your computer. They're just the shortcuts to the installers. Now, even though they're not really installed, the shortcuts themselves take up a lot of space. So to get rid of them, you just right click and hit uninstall, and it should uninstall the app. And I go through all of these and get rid of all of these individually, unfortunately, just like this. And it should just take a second to kind of go through and get rid of these, although it appears as if there's quite a bit, isn't there? TikTok now. I'm at, let's see, Instagram. I think we're almost there. Okay, we get rid of Messenger. And there we go. That's the majority of them. You can also get rid of stuff like Microsoft 365 just by right-clicking, hitting uninstall, and clicking uninstall there. And you can essentially go through, and once you go through all of the different icons that are just in your start menu, you can also go over to the all menu, and you can scroll through here and get rid of some too. Like Copilot, you can right-click and uninstall Copilot too, which is something that seems to me I've been having to uninstall quite a bit lately. So I think Microsoft might be reinstalling Copilot after you uninstall it, which is a little annoying when they do that, but it is something that we have to deal with in Windows, unfortunately. But as you scroll through here, you can find different things that you may want to get rid of, and all you have to do is once you get to one of those applications, you just right-click on it, you push the uninstall button, and it uninstalls the application from the computer. Now, when you're in the start menu itself, like I am right now, these apps are actually installed. These aren't just links like I told you before in this section of the start menu. These ones are just links to the installer for the app. So the app isn't really installed. But if you go over to all right here and scroll through here, these are in fact really installed. So if you want to uninstall them, you do them just like that. Now, there's lots more that you can do that would take an entire video to go over. In fact, I did an entire video on just the subject alone. In fact, I've done a few, but these are just the main things that I like to disable on systems that I personally use. And this doesn't just go for Windows 11. These are tips that I just went through, work on Windows 10 as well. Now, the next things that we're going to do are mostly for Windows 11. Many of the changes in Windows 11 are not just UI changes with the operating system itself, but changes that have been made to some of the common Windows apps that we've kind of grown used to. Now, this section of the video was actually inspired by a question in the comments of one of my previous videos. Someone asked if there was a way to restore the Windows 10 Paint program to Windows 11, and turns out there is. Not only that, but many of the Windows 10 versions of Windows apps like Notepad, Task Manager, Sticky Notes, and even the File Explorer are available for Windows 11. In fact, you can even bring back some of the apps that were taken away in Windows 11, like WordPad. So let's jump back on the system and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so like I said, you can bring back a lot of the old classic apps to Windows 10. Like if we click start here and open up Notepad, as you can see, this is the new Notepad app. Now, it's nice. It fits the Windows UI. It's obviously dark, like the dark colors of the Windows dark theme. And also you have tab controls, which are nice. However, one of the things that isn't nice about the new Notepad is that it automatically opens the previous text document you had open if you close it with the regular close button. However, that means you have to essentially close it by closing each individual tab every time you close the app. And it's kind of annoying. However, if you want the old Notepad, it's just as easy as installing it, which I did right here. As you can see, this is the old Windows 10 Notepad, and as you can see, they run simultaneously. And also, you can also get programs like WordPad, which is the word processor that we used to always use before we had a Microsoft Word. And that might actually be why Microsoft got rid of it, because it made people not want to use Microsoft Word. And there's also the classic sticky notes, which kind of are nice. And unfortunately, the newer Windows 11 sticky notes are kind of more complicated with how they did things. Sticky notes were supposed to always be really simple. And unfortunately, Microsoft took something that was simple and made it more complicated. But luckily, we can have the simple back too. So the way we do this, let's go ahead and close some of these things to clear up some space here, is by going to this website right here. And I'll leave a link down in the description below. But there's a few things that we're going to be installing here. Like for one, the classic Windows games, which yes, Windows 11 does come with a lot of these classic games, but they're new versions of them. And honestly, I kind of like the old ones better myself, but that's just me. So to download them, you just scroll down here, click on the download link right here. And then it should take a second to download. And once it does, we can just click on this link right here. And here's our download. We'll just go ahead and open it up in the folder. We'll go ahead and open this and run the application itself. And these all come with installers, so you don't have to install them manually. You just click the installer and run the installer like you normally would for any other program that you may download. And these are official Microsoft programs. These aren't recreations of the original programs. These are in fact the exact same games, like in this case, games that were in Windows 7, and you can put them in Windows 8, 10, or 11. And go ahead and click next. And these are all, by the way, these are all by WinArrow, which is a company that deals with a lot of Windows customization. So it's not just some shifty website where we're downloading this from. This is a reputable website where we're getting these. And then go ahead and hit install, and it installs them. And you can go ahead, I typically uncheck these and hit finish. And now if you go into the start menu here, go into all, and then scroll down to games, you'll see that we now have the original Windows Solitaire, as well as many of the other old Windows games from Windows 7. Now, you can do more than just that also. If you come back here, I'm going to go ahead and scroll back up to the top, and we're going to do Classic Paint, which, considering the fact that this is what inspired this video to begin with, we should probably cover it. So I'm going to go ahead and click here and download the Classic Paint. And then while we're downloading, I also wanted to look at the Classic Task Manager as well. So we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to download the Task Manager for the Windows 10 version. You can also get the Windows 7 Task Manager too, but personally, I'm not much of a fan of the Windows 7 Task Manager, but you go ahead and download that one if that's the one you want. Now we're going to click here, we're going to go ahead and open up our Downloads folder again. We're going to go into Paint. We're going to go ahead and install the Classic Paint app. And this is the same thing. You just go through the regular install process. And like I said, this one's also WinArrow. All of these programs are all from WinArrow. And now this one here, there's a little bit different in how you have to install this one. So, and it gives you directions right here once you install the app. So go ahead and push the Open Settings button here. We're going to scroll this over so we can actually see what we're doing. And then it's going to want to go to, in the Settings app, click on App Exclusion Aliases. So that's right here. And if we click there, it wants us to go down to MS Paint and PBrush EXE and turn those off. So we're going to go down to Paint and PBrush and turn that off. And as you can see, I also had to do that one for Notepad as well. But I did that one previously before the video. And then we're going to go ahead and hit Next. We're going to go ahead and do this for all users. Then we're going to click Install. And it goes through the install process. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck all this stuff here and hit finish. Now, just like in the other application, if we click here, as you can see, this is the good old-fashioned Paint app. Now, personally, I kind of like the Paint app that comes with Windows 11 better, but this is for whoever wanted the original Paint app. You can do that. Now, you can also run the new Paint app as well, even simultaneously as the old one together. But personally, I think there's a lot more features in the new Paint app, and I like it a lot better. However, if you like the old one better, you have the option to use it. But the other one that I looked at that I thought was really interesting is the Task Manager replacement. This one I didn't actually think was possible. So if we click on here, obviously it's going to say that the Windows Defender Smart Screen said this is an unrecognized app. And essentially all this means is that the executable isn't signed. So we're going to go ahead and click Run anyway. Hit yes. And as you can see, this is also from WinArrow. It's not a shifty company. However, I'm not sure why the executable isn't signed, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and hit next, install it, and we're going to uncheck all of these things right here. Now, one thing that I didn't doubt here is that you could just open the original Task Manager. That's fine. This is the Windows 10 Task Manager in Windows 11, which is really cool in and of itself. However, once you install this, if you right click here and open Task Manager, it opens the Windows 10 one. So I'm not sure how they got that to change, but I do actually like it. So if you're wanting your Windows 11 system to operate a little bit more like Windows 10, especially with some of the more intricate programs, this is definitely the way to do it. Now, there's one more classic app that I like to bring back in even my Windows 10 systems, and that's the classic photo viewer. This one, though, is a little bit more difficult to bring back because it's not really a program. It's just a DLL, and it's not really gone in Windows 11. Just all the references to it have been removed from Windows file associations. So what we have to do is put those file associations back, and luckily we don't have to do it manually. Let's jump back on the system and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so we can go ahead and close Task Manager here. We don't need this anymore. Now, the next thing that we're gonna need is we're gonna need to go to this website right here, and this is Windows 10 Forums. Now, this is a hack that's been around for a really long time. Like you can see, this one was published in 2022, but I remember doing this way prior to that. This has been ever since Windows 7 went out of support and Windows 10 became the kind of the default that most people use. This has been a hack that people have used to restore the old Windows 7 photo viewer to Windows 10 and Windows 11 systems. Now, I'll go ahead and leave this link in the description below so you can find it yourself. But if you scroll down here, there's a couple different options here. The first one is to restore the Windows Photo Viewer for just the current account. This only affects the account that you're currently using. Or you can also keep scrolling and you can store the Windows Photo Viewer for all accounts. So no matter who's using the system, you can restore the Windows Photo Viewer. Now, like I said, this isn't really restoring the Photo Viewer because the Photo Viewer still exists within Windows. And let me show you how. So if you click on here, we're gonna go ahead and open up our command prompt and we're gonna type this command right here. This is run DLL32, program files, Windows Photo Viewer DLL. Now this file still exists in Windows 11. So we're not actually putting the photo viewer back in Windows 11. It's already there. It's just references to it are gone, and we're actually referencing it through this command. And then using the image view full screen, I'm actually linking to a picture right here that's in my pictures folder. Now, if I hit enter, it will open the classic photo viewer just like you used to have in Windows 7 right here in Windows 11. Now, if I go into my pictures folder, and if I go to this exact same picture, see if I can find it here. As you can see, if I double click on it, it opens in the new photo viewer, which honestly, I don't like. I don't like the new photo viewer. I've always been a fan of the old-fashioned photo viewer myself. So the way we restore that is we're gonna go ahead and close both of these. I'm gonna go ahead and actually close all these windows we have open and go back to this website. Now I'm gonna scroll up here and we're gonna go to, I guess I scrolled up a little too far. All right, let's scroll down a little bit here. Okay, I'm gonna only restore the photo viewer for the current account because this system only has one account anyway. Now, they give you two different options here. They give you a reg file for restoring the file associations for Windows Photo Viewer, and there's a reg file here for undoing this if you decide you ever wanna go back, which you can if you want. Now, this doesn't change what photos open in. It just gives you the option to use the old-fashioned Windows Photo Viewer. It doesn't change how the system operates at all. In fact, it doesn't even change your default photo viewer. So you'll still be able to use the Windows 11 photo viewer. This will just give you the ability to use the old one as well. So we're gonna go ahead and click here and we're gonna download this registry file. We're gonna open that up, double click on it, and go ahead and click run, click yes to the user account control, and then again for the registry editor, and then it should be in the registry. So it's literally that simple. All you gotta do is download this little registry backup file, and you can right click on it, and you can go to show more options and edit, and you can actually see exactly what's happening right here. In fact, ironically, it opened in the old notepad, but that's okay. If you want, you have this little link in the new notepad that says a new version of Notepad is available. You can click launch and it'll launch it in the new notepad as well if you want to use that. So you can kind of switch back and forth between the old one and the new one if you want. Now, essentially, all this reg file does is just add file associations for the original photo viewer. And it goes down here, and as you can see, it's for every different kind of image file that you have. Now, if you had to enter all of these in manually, it would take you quite some time. So it's nice using that reg file to do it for you. So if we go into pictures right here, let's go down to the same picture we had before. If we double click on it, it's going to ask us what app we want to use. Now, by default, it's still using the Windows Photo app. But we also have the Windows Photo Viewer here now too. So if we click on that and then click Always, it'll open it in the Windows Photo Viewer. Now, that way, every time we open this app, it's also going to open it in the same way. Now, we don't actually have to use Always. If we want, we can go ahead and choose another app right here, and we can go ahead and choose Photos. You go put the file association back to the way it was. Now, if we open it, it opens it in the Windows 11 Photo Viewer. But we can always right-click, hit Open With, and we can choose the Windows Photo Viewer from Windows 7 at any time that we want. And we can switch back and forth and kind of have more control over our file associations in regards to opening pictures. Okay, now that we've gotten a lot of the classic apps back into Windows 11, it's time to start tweaking the UI of Windows 11. If you've watched this channel for any period of time, then you know that my favorite app to do this is Explorer Patcher. Unfortunately though, Explorer Patcher has suffered some controversy recently, making it really difficult to use. Let me try to explain why. Explorer Patcher functions by re-enabling old code that's still in Windows 11 that's kind of left over from previous versions of Windows. Unfortunately, in Windows 11 24H2, Microsoft finally removed their legacy taskbar from Windows 11. So it was no longer possible to just re-enable it. So the developers of Explorer Patcher just kind of created their own. Unfortunately though, that clearly pissed off someone at Microsoft because Explorer Patcher got listed in Windows Defender as a virus. They labeled it as a hack tool, to be precise. And unfortunately, because of this, other antivirus programs started labeling Explorer Patcher as a hack tool as well. Luckily though, as of the filming of this video, it appears that Microsoft has relented and removed Explorer Patcher from Windows Defender. So it just works like a normal app now. However, if you're using a different antivirus, it still may be detected as a virus. If it is, then just know that it is a false positive. Explorer Patcher is a perfectly safe tool to change the UI elements of Windows 11. However, it can be buggy at times. You know, for people who've used it before, you know. Either way, let's jump back on the system and I'll show you how to install it and finish off making Windows 11 better by essentially making it Windows 10. Let's do it. Okay, we can go ahead and close these right here. And I've already got the tab open right here for Explorer Patcher. And again, I'll go ahead and leave this link down in the description below this video so you can go and download it yourself. So we're gonna go ahead and hit latest. Now right here, you can see the caution right here because they're well aware of the fact that Microsoft has flagged them as malware. However, they did show you right here how to get through all of that by adding some of these commands right here in order to add exclusions in order for the Windows Defender to not actually flag it. Unfortunately though, it's been worse than that now. Now they've actually started adding it to other antivirus programs. But for the time being, it seems to work. At least I installed this during my testing for this video and I didn't get flagged. So go ahead and scroll down and what we're gonna want the EP setup exe right here. So go ahead and click on that and it'll go ahead and download it and we can open up our downloads folder. And as you can see, it's currently not being detected. So let's go ahead and close all these and we'll see if we can install it. So to install it, all you have to do is just double click on it and hit yes to the user account control and your screen will go black for a minute and it should come back exactly the same as it used to be. And it did. So now we're back to where we were and everything should function the same way as it did before. But we have the added benefit of being able to do a lot of tweaks now. So go ahead and right click on your taskbar. And as you can see, there's quite a bit more inside of this right click menu. And we're going to go ahead and hit properties. And this will open up the Explorer Patcher properties. Now, the first one I want to do obviously is the taskbar. So a lot of people don't like the center mounted taskbar in Windows 11. Personally, I've kind of grown to like it. But if you don't like it and if you want everything to be moved over, or if you want your old Windows 10 taskbar back, you can simply do it right here. So we're gonna go ahead and click Windows 10 Explorer Patcher. Now, this is gonna depend on what version of Windows 11 you're using. If you're using 23H2, you're gonna wanna use this one right here, the middle one, that doesn't say Explorer Patcher after it. This isn't a custom taskbar. It's just re-enabling the Windows 10 taskbar from Windows 11. That's still in Windows 11. But in 24H2, they removed that, so you have to use the custom one that was made by Explorer Patcher. So go ahead and click on that, and it should switch it over to the Windows 10 one. And to start that, all you gotta do is click on Restart File Explorer, and it'll go ahead and turn black, and you'll get your taskbar back. But now you have a Windows 10 taskbar. But if you notice, it's still opening the Windows 11 start menu in the middle of the screen, which is a little annoying. So to fix that, you just go over to your start menu and you can change the position from center to edge of screen right here. And then if you open it, then you're opening it on the edge of screen. However, you know how to do that in Windows 11. The next thing you can do though, is you can actually change the start menu style. So if you click here, you can go to the Windows 10 start menu, and to enable it, all you gotta do is click on Restart File Explorer. Now, sometimes when you restart File Explorer, I've noticed that it doesn't actually restart the way it's supposed to. Sometimes it takes a while for Windows Explorer to start back up. Now, I think this is a problem with Windows itself. I don't think this is an issue with Explorer Patcher, because I've had it happen in other programs as well when Explorer Patcher wasn't even installed on the system. But either way, once you restart it, you should be able to click Start, and you'll have the Windows 10 start menu back in Windows 11. Now, also, if you want to, you can also go into File Explorer. Since we're restoring old apps, we might as well do File Explorer too. So if you click right here, what I would recommend doing is I typically like to register File Explorer as a shell extension. When I do any modifications in Explorer Patcher, it seems to make them a little bit more reliable. However, the only one that we're going to be changing right now is the control interface itself. So if you open up our File Explorer, as you can see, we have the new tab style File Explorer that comes with Windows 11. But if we go ahead and close this, and we change right here the control interface to say the Windows 10 ribbon, and then go ahead and hit Restart File Explorer. And just like I said before, notice how all my icons didn't show up. And if I click on the start menu, nothing, well, it happens, but it's running really slow, and now it won't go away now, actually. There it goes. This is what I was talking about. Explorer doesn't start properly the way it is. Now, I don't think this is a problem with Explorer Patcher. I think this is a problem with Windows 11 because, like I said, I've had this happen before with other applications when Explorer Patcher wasn't installed at all. Now, if you just sit here and wait for a minute, eventually it'll come back. And there it goes. All right, see, as you see, that was all real time. So that's how long it took for Explorer to finish restarting. So once it does, we go ahead and click File Explorer, and you can see we no longer have the tabs like we had before. So our tabs are gone. However, we have more of a Windows 10 look in our File Explorer. And it goes further than that. We can actually change this to the Windows 7 command bar as well. We're going to go ahead and click Restart File Explorer. And again, the Explorer didn't completely restart. So this time, instead of waiting in real time, I'm just gonna skip ahead until it starts the way it's supposed to, and we'll move on. And there we go. Now we got it started again. So we're gonna go ahead and click File Explorer here. And as you can see, this is a much cleaner interface. And this is the interface that you would be used to if you were using Windows 7. So like I said, Explorer Patcher is an extremely powerful app, and I'm not going to go through everything. I've done this in other videos before, and if you haven't seen those, I highly recommend checking them out, but Explorer Patcher is definitely a program that's worth looking into, especially if you like messing with the UI of Windows. Now, ultimately, there's lots of other things that you can do to make Windows 11 better. And I already know that I'm going to get several comments that say to make Windows better, just install Linux. Have you ever had one of those friends that comes up with a funny joke and then keeps repeating the joke over and over again until it's not funny anymore? Yeah, I've heard that one a few times. Personally, I think Windows is redeemable. It's also highly customizable thanks to third-party developers making programs that help us modify Windows in many different ways. I know there are still controversies within Windows, like Windows Recall, for instance. However, the best way to avoid these is simply don't buy an ARM-based PC. Luckily, a lot of those AI features have not come to the x86 platform yet, and when they do, well, we'll disable them or modify them to work the way we want them to work, like we do everything else. But with that said, if you'd like a deeper dive into Windows 11 privacy, then check out this video here where I go into the topic in much more depth than I did in this video. A lot of the things that I highlight in this video, I wanted to include here, but there just wasn't enough time. As always, you guys have a great day.